Okay, I've done quite a few videos on megalithic sites. Megalithic just meaning lithic meaning stone and mega meaning large, and it's large stone sites. Gigantuan or cycloptic stones. The name itself, cycloptic, gives you one form of reason for the ability for these people to move it, because the ancient story of the Cyclops were, of course, giants that had one central eye in their head. Now we find that that island that was described as being the island of the giants did actually have a primordial elephant on it, and elephants don't have eyes in the front of their head, but on the sides of their head, and it doesn't even look like an eye structure. And there's a big eye socket looking place in the middle of their forehead, which is where their trunk comes from. And so, in seeing this giant head, that's where the mythology came from of that. But in that truth, there is the truth of how Hannibal and all these guys back then had utilized elephants to bring them about the strength that they needed to do things with. And so they were domesticating and utilizing them, much like the people of India and the Thailand people and stuff do today. And they work incredibly. I mean, I've seen them working with logging people and stuff in some of these videos, and it is their incredible tractor of the time and stuff. And you wonder how many elephants it would take to move something like this whenever it's over 1,000 tons. You can see the little guy that's right here standing near it, and how small he is and pales in comparison. The odd thing about, little things that are known about these things, this used to be excavated out totally, and it is propped up onto a rock, which is just up under that man, or a little bit even to his left. And it was propped up on that. And I don't know if you can see, but right in here, there is a crack or a fissure that is forming, and across the top where it's eroding through, and it won't be long before the thing tries to separate. By saying won't be long, it could be hundreds of years, but in geological time, it won't be long before the thing fractures open. It's known as the pregnant woman, and it's supposed to be the largest man-moved stone ever on Earth. But I question that fact whenever I find out about Shoria, which is in the edge of Russia. And this thing is 21.5 meters long, 4 meters wide. Huge, huge. Long thought to be the largest worked man stone on Earth, of course. And you can see that fissure I showed you running through when you see that. But now they found another stone that the idea was suppressed and even buried, but it is even larger than the pregnant woman at 19.6 meters long, 6 meters wide, and 5.5 meters high, and weighs a few thousand tons more than it, or a few hundred tons more than the over 1,000-ton stop. But you see these megalithic sites all across the world. Sacsayhuaman, Peru, just everywhere. And you can see the size of these megalithic structures that are made out of these stones, and it just seems to be an impossible work. Although the largest quarried stone ever is in Yangtze, it is a liberated stone that apparently never did move. They carved out this entire part, leaving knobs on it too, so it could be lifted, which is an incredible thing to think about. But also it is separated from the mound below it and been carved out up under it totally. And belief is that they never could move it, but they're able to separate it from the earth and have it there. But Gornia Shoria is very neat. It shows you that pyramids have large stones, but not gigantic or megalithic stones like you see in Baalbek here, and in a lot of the Roman structures that they have, giant colosseums, giant columns, and huge megalithic stonework that carries on from the Egyptians, with stones about this size in Egypt, maxing out pretty much to Gornia Shoria, where that's shown at. But look at the size of these megalithic stones that these people are standing next to. Now this rarely gets excavated, but look at the stone standing work that's right here and how these things are placed upon each other. Now they try to say that this is actually some type of natural formation, but in that natural formation there's a cave formed right here that goes in and forms a whole cave structure. So it'd be like, oh, it's just a natural cave. No, it looks like they set it all up like this. I mean, this is set up in that way, and it's stone stacking. Now, after thousands and thousands of years erosion that has been going on, because it's up in a mountain, and every year it goes through a snow capping and erosion, but also through the rainy season. So it's just been drenched and ruined. And these stones look very much like Stonehenge, where they've been eroded away very badly. And it's a hard stone, but it was worked by these primitive people. Let's look at some more of these stones that they show here, and it's very telling. But the way they line up and they're stacked, and this is very much like the Yonaguni site that's in Japan, where they are trying to say now it's a regular geologic formation where everything is supposed to be like bricks and so on. The one thing that keeps it off is that they don't have an exact standard. In other words, this brick is not the same size as this one, and this one. They are each individually slightly different. They're not uniform. But of course, no one's using a mold. And it's possible they're not even using exact measurements except for to get heights and lengths correct to put the things together. Now, whenever they cut them loose, they cut them, but if they're not cutting at an exact point yet at this point, it has overlaying and stacking. Well, that's the style we use to make bricks stronger today, is overlapping and stacking. And so this is seen evident in sites like this, where this giant megalithic stone that's over 40 yards long. Look at the size of this stone right here. It's got an impressive door cut into it that goes through and into a cave. But they try to say that this is a natural formation. And if you look at how flat the top of it is and how it's cut down through here at intervals, it's just foolish to think so. But they say, well, the reason is because each of these is slightly different in size, and so and it's like, that's just where they cut them at. It makes no, if I make slices of butter out of a stick of butter and they're not uniform, you're going to tell me it's not butter? Let's continue. Look at this site right here. Baalbek has stones that are along the size of this one and this one together as one. This is two separates, but these are the sizes of the stones at Baalbek, with a door cut right through it. And it's larger stones, again, put on smaller stones, if you'll see. Smaller stones on the bottom, larger stones on top. Just at Baalbek, too, where they had some smaller stones lining the bottom and then these giant megalithic stones on top. Now, of course, the Russian scientists have proposed that the rock formation be a result of geological process. That's what they say, the result of geologic processes. But when you look at these megalithic stones like this, and how they're flat-sided and worked, and you can tell that it's work and erosion over time. You can easily tell that the Stonehenge blocks are worked but eroded over time, but somehow people can't equate this. And this entire wall and mountain ridge of stacked stones like this that shows up, making ancient structures, this canopy-topped megalithic cave structure with a doorway. And they're saying this is natural. Now, I've seen natural caves before, people, but this isn't natural. Not a natural cave in any way, shape, or form. These notches and things cut in here, this window that's right here, and they say this is a natural rock formation. It just kind of cracked up like that. Well, who cut the doors in it? And who cut loose the roof from the walls and made it all look like it was made out of bricks and large megalithic stonework then? After the fact. Let's just say that it was some natural cave. Who were the people that came in and cut it all apart and made it look like it was brickwork? Something we definitely need to study. And a lot of archaeological sites are like overlooked and stuff. And they've done lots of studies on Baalbek and all the different ones, but they won't do a study on this. But I tell you what, you look at this structure right here and how these megalithic bricks are set, and how so often right in the middle of one long one, the one above is split in the middle, just like your brickwork on your house. And if you're looking at these pine trees that are right here, that are damn near 100 feet tall, and you can't even quite see the bottom of them in this picture or the top, but yet you're seeing these megalithic stones that are here and the size of them compared to Baalbek. It's no wonder that they want to just dismiss it all as being some natural formation. But if you were to stack up beautiful bricks that were well shown 10,000 years ago and let them erode in this mountain habitat, they would be as eroded as they are today. In fact, it would almost be surprising that they weren't eroded more, wouldn't it? Very interesting. Very telling. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. And again, much more interesting topics like this coming out. And I do have another one done on Gornia Shoria that you can look at. But this is the secondary. I appreciate y'all and have a great day.